Teddy Burriss, welcome to LinkedIn Live with yours truly, Mark Struczewski, also known as Mr. Productivity. And I am so thrilled for those of you who are tuning in live. And here's what I want you to do before you started. There's a comment section there. Please, in the comments, let us know if you can hear or see us. That's kind of important. And let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd like to know that. I am Mark Struczewski, also known as MrProductivity.com. There's my website, MrProductivity.com. Go there, get my top 5 productivity tips, absolutely 100% free. Find out about my brand new digital productivity coaching program, which I'm super, super excited about. But enough about me. We got a great guest on the show today. He was a guest on my podcast many, many moons ago, but now he's here on LinkedIn Live, and we're going to talk a lot about LinkedIn and social media and how to make a difference in this world for your business. Teddy Burriss, welcome to the show.
Mark, thanks for having me. I really look forward to getting into a really cool conversation with you.
Now, we were talking for a few minutes before we get started, and I think your approach is a little bit differently. You have access to LinkedIn Live. You don't use it yet. You have access to LinkedIn Stories. You don't use it yet. So explain to us why you're not using these features that LinkedIn has so graciously given you.
graciously. So it comes down to this, dude. It's really about what do my people want? And so I have these tools. Look, I got tools, man. I got tools off the yin yang, Here, look at this tool. I got this tool. I got all these freaking screwdrivers. What am I going to use them for? And I could use them to do what I want, or more importantly, I could use these tools to do things that my network wants. So I'm experimenting. I'm hanging out with people like you and other people, and I'm seeing what people are doing, looking at their style, their methodology, their stories, their content. And I'm trying to figure out, what do my people want? And when I figure out what my people want, not just my network, that's a bland way of referring to my tribe. But when I figure out what my tribe really wants, then I'll use those tools. Maybe I'll use those tools to give it to them. And so I'm just not ready to pull that trigger yet. Yeah, I played a little bit with live just to make sure functionality, I get it. Yeah, I played with stories a little bit, make sure I know the click. But I gotta need to know what my people want before I commit to using those tools.
Here's my take on stories, and I'd love to know your take. Stories, everybody's using stories the way they use them on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat. And what I decided to do, this is me. I'm not saying this is the right way or the wrong way. What I am going to do is not use any repurposed content. I'm going to either use the camera on my phone in the LinkedIn Stories app to create a video or to take a picture. And I'm going to make it, the content I'm going to put on LinkedIn Stories is only going to be on LinkedIn Stories. I know a lot of people are using quote cards. They're using repurposed video from YouTube or Instagram. I have decided not to do that. I want to make it so when people see my stories, there's things they can't see anywhere else. So what's your take on that? Do you agree with me, or do you think it doesn't make any sense?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of taking a piece of content and put it out on 8 different platforms and hope somebody picks it up and thinks I'm the goddess of this stuff. Mm-hmm. Goddess or God? Anyway,
I think you'd be a god, not a goddess.
I'm just not a fan of that. Now, don't misunderstand me. I often will repurpose content in very deliberate ways. But I'm with you. I think that LinkedIn Live and Stories, if my network, my people are all about LinkedIn, which I hope they are because I'm a LinkedIn strategist. That's what I eat, drink, and sleep 24/7. I want to make sure I'm giving them something that's meaningful for them that they want. It's creating any channel. I have a YouTube channel that has 600 YouTube videos. Do you want to guess what the topic is?
LinkedIn.
It used to be pole dancing, but now it's LinkedIn.
What? Wait, you can't leave that there.
I'm joking.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
It used to be technology. In the previous life, it was technology. But for the last 12 years, it's been LinkedIn. And so now those YouTube videos only ever infrequently do I distribute them to other places. Because I want people to come to my YouTube channel and go, I'm going to follow Teddy on YouTube because this is where I get that stuff. And the same thing with my blog. My blog, very infrequently do I put stuff from other channels into my blog. I have a mastermind group on LinkedIn. Excuse me, it's actually on a Facebook private educational group. That content they get is original content because it's rich to them. Quora, I answer questions on Quora. Now, total transparency, I use Quora as a channel for me to understand what people are asking about. Mm-hmm. And then I'll create a YouTube video, answer that question to put it on YouTube. And then I share that YouTube video, which is not all my YouTube videos, but I'll share that YouTube video into Quora to answer that dude's or that lady's question. But I want people to show up on a channel and know this is where I get Teddy Burriss's ideas, perspectives, thoughts, his craziness, or whatever on this topic. And if I want something different, go to Instagram. There's no LinkedIn stuff on Instagram. You know what's on Instagram? It's Teddy acting like an idiot, enjoying life. So I'm with you, dude. I'm all about repurposing content in very deliberate ways, but not every day.
So I want to play a little pretend with you. If the leaders of LinkedIn came to you and says, Teddy, we're going to give you control for 24 hours. You can make any decisions you want about LinkedIn. What decisions would you make? Because I've got a couple I'll share with you when you're done. But if you had complete control, you could take away features, add features, improve things. 24 hours, what would you change?
Oh, Lord, man. You got a few minutes for me. Write this list down. Number 1, messaging. Number 2, invites. I'll start with those. I'll think of another one. First of all, messaging. Are you a Sales Navigator user?
No, sir.
I'm a Sales Navigator user. I use Sales Navigator. It's an important business tool for me. I also use LinkedIn. It's an important business tool for me. Today, Sales Navigator messages are over here. LinkedIn messages are over here. The two do not combine. Okay. And that is a huge problem if you are a serious prospector. I want one inbox. Now, you can give me a sub channel, but give me one freaking inbox where I can see my LinkedIn messages and my Sales Navigator messages. Maybe more importantly, give me one way to look. Give me a what's it called when Google does this in Gmail? Threading.
Right. Okay. Thread.
Okay? I want to see all the messages I sent to Mark through Sales Navigator and all the messages I sent to Mark on LinkedIn in one place.
Gotcha.
God, that drives me crazy. LinkedIn, do you hear what I'm saying? I'm begging for this. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2. So we have the ability to send LinkedIn invites, and I'm pretty purposeful at sending LinkedIn invites. However, you also have the ability to withdraw LinkedIn invites, okay, which is important to do. You don't want them to stack up, become irrelevant, and not be able to send one later on when you find the guy again, you bump into him. So you need to withdraw invites. So I teach this philosophy. If it's over a month old, withdraw it. Really easy to do in the past. Today, when you withdraw invites, it's 3 freaking clicks.
Oh, wow.
Click withdraw, click confirm withdrawal, click get rid of this box down at the bottom. 3 clicks. Used to be able to, you could select a bunch of them and withdraw them all at once. Now, I understand why LinkedIn did that. At least I think I understand why they did that. The world is full of a bunch of people who don't use LinkedIn right. So they send out 1 million freaking invites, and then they don't care how many accept, but they want some to accept, and the rest of them they could care less about. Well, it used to be that they stacked up past a certain number. That number varies per person. Then LinkedIn would go, you can't send anymore because you've been banned. So what they're doing now is they're making it harder for you to get rid of these invites. So you go, well, maybe I shouldn't do it that way anymore. Regardless, there's a bunch of us who use it purposefully. You're making it harder for us who are serious about using LinkedIn. Those are my 2 big ones.
Okay. Well, my 2 are, number 1, get rid of metrics. Okay. The authors should be able to see them. There are too many people who are trying to game the system. There are people who only look at the metrics before they'll comment or engage in a post. And a lot of people get in pods, and you can tell when people have pods, they'll post something within 10 minutes. There's like 150 views and 17 comments. So get rid of the metrics. I mean, views, shares, comments. I mean, list the comments, but don't tell the number. So that's number 1. Number 2, speed up the rollouts. I mean, I don't like Facebook, but Mark Zuckerberg pushes things out and he fixes it as it go. LinkedIn's like, LinkedIn Live's been out for a year and a half. I think like 1 or 2% of people have it. They rolled out LinkedIn Stories last week, and I don't know how many people in America have it. I know a lot of people don't have it. It's like the rollouts are snail's pace. I don't know if it's because of infrastructure or if they want to make sure it doesn't break, but I would like to see a quicker rollout. I think that's a big issue.
I'm with you. Those are good. Those are valid points. I'll tell you the rollout idea could be a little quicker, but I get this beta rollout. So tell me it's a beta. Tell me I'm in a beta, and tell me that you want me to bang on the keyboard as hard as I can to break the damn thing, and so that they can make it right. And then after a bunch of us bang on the keyboard hard enough, turn that puppy on for everybody. It's not an infrastructure issue.
Right.
The other thing is, I offered to you that I wrote down 2 other things. Articles. So LinkedIn put all this money, all this, systems in for us to write articles that basically went into the crapper. Mm-hmm. Nobody read, no real meaningful engagement or reads of articles. It's really hard. I got one article that just is freaking, went viral and continues to go viral, but every other article just sits there and lumbers along like a turtle. So articles, I think it should, if they're going to have them, they need to create some value for us to really want to use them. Do I need to talk about groups?
Oh,
you know why I built a mastermind group in Facebook? Because it freaking rocks. I mean, it's got everything in it I want. It's got imagery, it's got videos, it's got units, it's got files, it's got a huge amount of ways of engaging on it. And it's got, I can see all the members, I can look at their full profiles and all that stuff. LinkedIn screwed up with groups. They could have turned that, if they wanted to, they could have turned groups into something really, really stellar, but they decided that it's not as important as other stuff.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback off that. It sounds like we're ragging on LinkedIn. I only use LinkedIn. I don't like the other platforms. But one thing I wish they would do, okay, because I remember about a year ago, they sent an email out saying, hey, we're getting really serious on groups. And everybody's like, yay. And then nothing happened. I think if you're granted access to live, you should automatically get access to live to any page or group that you are owner of.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to go back and reply. So I have LinkedIn Live on my profile. I have to go back to the well and apply for my pages. I have 2 pages, Mr. Productivity and Mark Struczewski Podcast, and I have a group. So I think once they give you live, they should give you live to everywhere that you are an owner. Why should I have to go back to the well and beg again? Because I had to beg 5 times to get LinkedIn Live. So I think they should make uniform. Once you get live, any place you are an owner, not a member, an owner, you have access to live. What do you think about that?
I'm with you on that. Now, by the way, can you do live into groups? I didn't know you could do that. I thought it was personal pages. Yes,
personal pages. But I think they should expand it to groups and then give you access. Once you get access to LinkedIn Live, whether it's a profile, a page, or a group, as long as you're the owner, and that's got to be a big caveat, you're 100% owner, then you have access to the live.
Owner or manager? Maybe manager. Maybe. Mark, maybe. But think about that. If you gave me the ability to do live into a group, then I could do an absolutely phenomenal live once a week, every other week, whatever it is, and only people who get it are people in that group.
Yep. I really think the potential is there for LinkedIn to crush Facebook. And I don't know why they're not taking advantage. There are so many people like me who only do LinkedIn, and it's like you could crush Facebook. You really could, but it's like for groups, if they went all in on groups, they would crush Facebook, but for some reason, it's not a priority for them, like you mentioned.
I think it's too late. To overcome the Facebook group environment. And by the way, so you're all about LinkedIn. And I get that. I mean, that's what pays my bill, allows me to buy my beers and cigars. Boy, I'll tell you what though, man, I love what I'm doing on YouTube and I love what I'm doing on Quora. It's a huge investment, but it makes the phone ring on a regular basis. People say, man, I love what you're doing and I want to talk with you about doing this for me. So.
Well, I have profiles on every platform. Okay.
Yeah.
I left Twitter because it's full of hatred and everyone's a COVID expert. Everyone's a political analyst. So I left Twitter, never got any business off of Twitter. And then Facebook, I got a Facebook page. We're streaming right now on my Facebook page. I only have like 100 people over there. No one engages. I only go live. I go live on LinkedIn, but I also StreamYard allows me to go on YouTube and Facebook. I tried to go I tried to build my YouTube channel, and I decided for me, my clients and my prospects are on LinkedIn. I'm going really deep on LinkedIn. I'm going to give so much value on LinkedIn. And if someone says, well, I'm on Instagram, like, well, you want to see my stuff, you have to go to LinkedIn or you have to go to mrproductivity.com. Those are two places. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk says be everywhere. Well, he also has a team, so he can be on Snapchat and TikTok and all that. I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah. You know why I went to YouTube?
No.
It's the number 2
search engine. Yeah.
Search engine in the world. And I'm like, man, I can't pass that up. I mean, I own LinkedIn, I own YouTube. You do a Google search for most people. Do a Google search for LinkedIn trainer.
Wow.
Number 1, often, not always, but often, globally.
Wow.
And I'm getting better on YouTube.
What do you think about the innovation? I mean, it seems like everyone got live. Now LinkedIn's got it. Everybody had stories. Now LinkedIn has it. And I think that they have the ability, the smarts to create something that's innovative. Like I said, when we first got stories, I was talking to a couple people on LinkedIn and they agreed with me. LinkedIn should have made it different, stories different. In other words, you can't do any uploads. You can only record a picture or a video in the camera, blocks everything out, and then make it like 25-second stories. Make it a little different, but it's almost like they copied Instagram and Facebook, and I wanted them to make it a little bit different. I mean, it seems like they're spending so much time copying, and I want them to innovate. And what's innovative on LinkedIn? Can you think of anything that's innovative on LinkedIn?
Oh, Lordy. Well, probably the most powerful part of LinkedIn is the research tool.
Okay.
Through LinkedIn and Sales Navigator, you got 700 and X million people on there. So, you got 11, maybe 13 profile filters in LinkedIn to look for people, 17 ways from Sunday. Go to Sales Navigator, I think it's 22 filters. Some really impressive filters to be doing research to find people. But people who are using free LinkedIn don't have access to this. Because if you're using free LinkedIn, you're only allowed to see X number of people per month.
Yeah.
So you got to pay for it to get to these tools. So far as innovation, I think it would be the ability to do research against 700 and X million people and 54 million companies. That's probably the biggest one, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I only use the free LinkedIn, but I tell you how I get a lot of connections is when I do quality comments on other people's posts. So one of my first degree connections will like or comment on the post. I'll like that. I'll give a comment to that post. And then that person will go, wow, and they'll connect with me. So these people that are second and third degree connections, they're reaching out to me because I took the time to give them a quality comment. And so there's a ways around that. Sales Navigator, I had it for a couple of months, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. $85 is a lot of money, in my opinion. And I'm like, unless you really know how to use it. Now, full disclosure, I did not devote the time to really know how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And if you don't know how to use it, it is a waste of money.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, remember, I'm a LinkedIn strategist, so fool be me if I didn't go practice every daggone day and listen to other people and experiment with different ideas. So I've learned it. So, but I'm with you. You used the phrase earlier we talked about, and my phrase is this: the secret sauce of any social media is the engagement.
Yes.
Meaningful engagement. And a good friend of mine told me this a week or so ago. She said, any comment that is less than 6 words is a waste of time.
Yes.
Meaningful engagement takes more than 6 words. And it can't, probably the worst engagement ever. And I'm also, do this myself every now and then. Oh, congratulations, Mark. I'm happy for you. Boom.
Yeah.
You've got to engage in more meaningful ways. And it's those meaningful conversations that you jump into and create that gets you the greatest value. As you said, it gets more people to look at my profile, which at the end of the day, the thing I strive for is people to look at my profile and go, oh my God, this dude's a freak and I want to know more about him.
Yep.
Freak's a good word with me. And that's what I'm after. So I want to engage in a meaningful way for people to go, who is this dude?
Mm-hmm.
And drive profile views, drive the right invites to connect. It's huge. Again, LinkedIn, YouTube, Quora, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. It's all about engagement.
No, one thing I started doing, because I actually found a setting on LinkedIn where I can let know people who are in my network when they get a new job or something like that. I get a notification on it now. And now what I do when I get that notification, I don't just like hit the congratulations button. I click on the post and it opens up a new window. And then I say congratulations and I tag them. Okay. Because if you just hit the congratulations, it doesn't tag them. And I say, hey, Teddy, congratulations on your new job at the XYZ company. I want you to know I'm cheering from you. I'm so happy for you. So mine's a little bit longer. It's not using the default. I've taken the time, and so many people have written back to me and said, thank you so much for, not because like the happy birthday, I do the same thing. I don't just hit happy birthday. I have a something in my notes on my Mac that's got a long happy birthday message. Well, it's not long. It's like 2 lines. And I copy and paste that and put their name in there. Most people are just going, click on happy birthday because it's already defaulted. I take the extra 3 seconds and personalize it. That means so much to people because the sweetest sound to anybody is their name. And so
where did you learn that?
I don't remember where I learned it a long time ago.
Oh, dude, that's Dale Carnegie principle, man.
That's probably where I learned it from. But like my birthday greeting says happy birthday, name. And then it says a greeting after it. And all I have to do is I paste it, double click on the word name, type your name in, just doing that 2-second thing. Then, because LinkedIn's not going to fill the name in. So that the person saying, wow, Mark took the time, even if it was 2 seconds, to personalize it. And I try to do this because most people are just clicking the happy birthday button. Well, and I get it on my birthday. I'll get like 500 birthday messages. Probably about 10 of them are personalized. The other 490, they're just hitting happy birthday. I'm like, yeah, there's no thought. You can't take 1 second and say happy birthday, Mark. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Okay, here's an alternative for you to think about. So we can all go to LinkedIn and click those buttons, and we can type, really honest, sincere messaging to people.
Yep.
Here's another idea. If that person who's having a birthday or a career anniversary or a promotion or a new job is someone who's really important to you, don't do that. Don't do it. Call them.
Oh, okay. I was like, how am I supposed to teach them? Okay.
Freaking call them, man.
Yes.
Yes. If you don't have their phone number, send them a business email address. Okay. Far more rewarding. I have a methodology of engagement. And if you are highly important to me in my business I'm also a career coach. If you're highly important to me for my business or my career, I tell people, don't freaking do LinkedIn messaging. Don't do even LinkedIn public post. Oh my God, well, I should do something. Yeah, call them. That's far more richer. Look, you're after 2 things. It's one thing to do a public post so people can publicly see Teddy as whoever Teddy is. But if I'm trying to engage with you in a meaningful way, Mark, I want to engage with you in a meaningful way. And it might just be, I'll pick up the phone and FaceTime you.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is, you look at all those notifications. You should look at those every day, and you should be very purposeful about deciding which ones are the right ones for me to invest time on today.
Yep.
Here, one more piece. I get 500 plus happy birthdays. Actually, this year was close to 900 across LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay. No, LinkedIn and Facebook. So I get a huge amount. You know what I do with every one of those messages?
I reply to them all. What do you do?
I respond to every single
me too.
one. Now, I use a tool called Text Expander. Love my Text Expander, okay? So I respond the same way with almost exactly the same way with everyone. Where do I make an adjustment?
Their
if
name.
The person who said happy birthday to me is highly relevant to my business. Okay. Then I don't message them. You know what I do? Here it comes, Mark. Here it comes.
Their phone.
I could do that. I didn't know I could do that. There's my lamps.
Okay, we have a question. Aaron asked the question. Let me blow this up so we can see it here. Hang on a second here. Bear with me so we can read it. So Aaron asked, is there a way we to find the meaning conversations? Often I will waste time in groups.
Might mean meaningful.
Okay. Waste time on groups with poor engagement. Well, we were just talking about this, Aaron. Groups are not where it's at. You need to, the engagements for me happen 2 places: on the LinkedIn feed and in DMs. Groups I'm in, I think about 100 groups. Like virtually there's like crickets anywhere. So I would suggest to you, Aaron, I'd love to know your thoughts on this, Teddy, is to engage on people's actual posts, because the post goes out to all LinkedIn and you're going to get more engagement. I think groups are pretty much a lost cause at this point. What do you think?
I'm holding faith, but today they are not the most important area of LinkedIn. It might be near the bottom. So, Aaron, the question is, how do you find the meaningful conversations? First of all, you need to know what is important to you. What's the topic that's important to you? I'm going to use my dumb analogy I use, and that is that I am a roller derby king. I'm a roller derby specialist. Okay, that's a satire analogy, but let's go with it. So on LinkedIn, I'm going to look for conversations about what? Roller derby. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a LinkedIn search for hashtag roller derby, LinkedIn search for roller and derby. I'm going to do LinkedIn search for roller derby king, and I'm going to look for content. And then if you're looking for content, which by the way, we can all do if we really want to find meaningful conversations, then you find this content and then you find who's sharing it. And if this dude named Aaron McClendon is posting a really interesting story about being a roller derby king, Aaron, I'm playing with you, then I'm going to engage on Aaron's content. And after I engage on his content, if I think he's really relevant to my business, then I might go look at his profile and I may send him an invite to connect.
There you go, Aaron. Hope that really helped you out there. Here's a question I have for you, Teddy, because there's a lot of debate. How many times should you post? And what I've gone back and forth on this, but then I heard Gary Vaynerchuk. He's kind of a famous entrepreneur. Yeah. He says you should post 10 to 15 times a day on LinkedIn. And here's why. He said, I would tell this anyone, whether you've got 100,000 followers or 100. Here's why. Number one, there only 1% of the people are actually posting on LinkedIn, by the way. I don't think people realize it. Most people are just lurking. But number one, he says it's so noisy out there. So if you're posting once a week, no one's seeing your stuff. Once a day, even so. He goes, number two, even if he had like 50,000 followers and you post 5 times a day, those 50,000 followers are not going to see all 5 of your pieces of your content. And number three, you realize that people can unfollow you if you're annoying them. And so what I do is I stand by a rule. If I have something of value to say, and I separate it by at least 3 hours, if I post 3 times a day, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 1 time a day, I don't say, well, I already posted today. If I have something of value to share with people, I will post it. Now, so 1 to 3 times a day on my profile, and every once in a while I'll post something on one of my pages. But then I'm also posting high quality content, value added content 15 to 30 times a day. So I post on my profile 1 to 3 times a day. I'm giving value added content via comments 15 to 30 times a day. Now you see the drastic, it's not all about me. It's always about value. So what do you think about that?
So, look, here's the problem with the Gary V statement is most people don't have the ability to sustain that activity.
True.
So you blow up and you start blowing up the internet with LinkedIn, with all this kind of content. And well, 2 things. A, they can't sustain it. B, they can't create enough good content. Mm-hmm. And if all you're doing is curating content and rebarfing other people's content, right. I don't misunderstand me. There's value to that. But if that's all you're doing, you're not building your brand strong enough. Yep. Number one, you've got to be able to sustain what you start doing. And number 2, you've got to be able to create your own content, probably more often than curating content, which is basically resharing stuff you find on LinkedIn and other places. Mm-hmm. Additionally, I'm with you. I tell people, and I wish I could change the way I say this. I often say, it's all about, sharing and engaging. Well, it's not all about sharing and engaging. It's all about engaging and sharing. But the bottom line, and whatever you decide to do, you have to be able to sustain it.
Yes.
And now for me, to answer your question, I have a series of curated content that are scheduled to post on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook on a regular basis. All it is what I call mind fodder. It's just content, all right? And it's relevant to me in some broad way. What I do is that I have a list. It's in front of me. I have a list of 10 things. And that list I check it off, add another one, check it off and add another one. So I'm often creating a blog post, an article, a PSA. Do you know what PSA stands for?
Public service announcement.
No, sir. pay serious attention.
Okay.
Hashtag PSA, I'm trying to own it.
Okay.
Or predominantly on LinkedIn, hashtag PSA, Teddy Burriss is pay serious attention. And so when people say something to me, or I discover something, I discover broke or fixed or new, or I discover an idea, a failure, or a success that other people can benefit from knowing, I create a hashtag PSA post. Okay. So what I do, Mark, I don't live by a content calendar. For me, that won't work. What I live by is the questions that people ask me. What I write down today, I wrote down the word consistency. The lady said, Teddy, I struggle with consistency. That's going to be my next either a video or article. So I listen to what you guys say, and that creates an opportunity for me to create content that I think is more meaningful to you. And that's what I know I need to give.
That's really important. I want to make sure people understand that is keep a running list. So I've got a list on my phone because I bring my phone everywhere I go, and an idea pops in because the idea will pop up anywhere. You could be, in church and Bible study, and here's something that triggers something. You got to record that idea immediately. If you say, oh, I'll remember it on Monday. No, you won't. You're going to forget it. So I have gotten idea. My ideas don't always come from LinkedIn. It could be I'm at a restaurant, boom, an idea comes. So capture those ideas, because if you don't capture idea, you have nothing to build content on. Second thing is what I do on LinkedIn, you only have 1,300 characters to write a post. Okay. So if you write a blog post at say 5,000 characters, well, you got to take that 5,000 character blog post and reduce it to the essence of a 1,300 character post, because you also got to add hashtags and stuff in there too. So I've had some longer blog posts, and I want to make them a LinkedIn post. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take one idea out of the blog post. So let's say I have 7 ideas in the blog post. Well, now I have 7 pieces of content scattered over several weeks. So, but you always got to be capturing that thought. You can't sit there and go, 10 to 11, I'm going to sit there and create a content on LinkedIn, because you're going to look at the screen and go, got nothing. But if you got a list, now you go, okay, I'm going to pick up my list. Oh, I'm going to talk about consistency. You got the list, now you go. And so capture those ideas as soon as they enter your brain, because they're not going to be there for a few seconds, and they'll be gone.
And the other thing too is that, and I do this work with all kinds of industries and all kinds of people, but you get people who have this mindset, well, I'm going to post 300 Instagram style images or memes, and I'm going to hire someone to create all these little memes for me. And all you ever see is the same old stuff over and over and over again with just, the messaging change. Well, you know what? The reality is we all want different stuff. Somebody wants a short little post. Someone wants an image. Someone wants a video. Someone wants to read an article. Someone wants to go to YouTube. Someone wants to go to your website. So people want different stuff. So it's sort of like feeding a baby. Okay. If I have this whole room of babies, and I think the only thing they all are going to get is split peas, well, you know what? They don't all want split peas. So why do I want to be that stupid? I want to give you the kind of content that you want. So you have to have diversity in your content.
Let me ask you this question. What is your preferred method of content? Mine, I don't like video. I know video is scalding hot. I hate watching video because I can't make it go faster. So I like text posts. Now, I'm not saying what's hot. What is your preferred, what content do you like to consume the most?
Well, from LinkedIn, I want to consume simple statements that may have a link down the line and say, dude, if you want more, click here. On LinkedIn, I want simple statements. But Mark, I'm also a podcaster. I love podcasts.
Me too.
You know how I consume podcasts? I mow the grass and I smoke a cigar and drink a beer. You know how long it takes me to mow the grass?
I don't know.
However long it takes to smoke the cigar.
So you stop when you're done with the cigar?
Well, whatever's left. No, I get it all done. But I'm riding around for, 45 minutes, and intentionally dragging it out to mow the grass, but I can get 3 podcasts in there.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where I consume podcasts. Where I consume videos, I'm sitting back in the evening. My wife and I are watching some show. I'm losing interest. I'm watching videos, with the volume turned way down. So, but on LinkedIn, I want simple statements that may have a link to a video, a link to an article or something else. And if you intrigue me in what's called that excerpt, then I'll go deeper. If you don't intrigue me, I'm like, next.
Yeah, it's interesting because you have all text, you have text with images, you have what I like to do is if I'm doing a video, I'll do text and the video. And be honest with you, y'all are posting like the text with the video. I'm not watching your video because I see it's like 8 minutes long. I'm not watching it. And I was on one LinkedIn Live, a guy named Brian Golod. He's pretty big on LinkedIn. He's got like 200,000 followers. And I was on one of his LinkedIn Live for an hour and 45 minutes. I'm like, Brian, is anyone going to watch this whole thing? Because it was long. It was long. Now, on mine, we're at like 35 minutes right now, so we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes. But some people will sit there and watch the whole thing. Mazel tov to you. But I think, you got to take into consideration not what content you like, but what content, as you mentioned earlier, what content does your prospect want? If your prospect wants 45-minute videos, you better put 45-minute videos out there. But if they like short posts, you better be putting short posts on there. Now if we all knew exactly what our audience wanted, that would be the holy grail, right?
Yeah, and then I wouldn't be working because I'd be charging you, $100 every time I give you the answer, or $1,000. But here's the other thing, Mark: never walk up to someone and hand them anything and walk away. Send it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google Plus, whatever.
Oh, hello. You forgot MySpace.
I said that line for 10 years. Never give anybody anything. I don't care what it is without telling them why you're giving it to them. And if it's a video, then tell me why it's important to me. Okay. If it's a meme, if it's an article, tell me why it'll change my life, help me, grow me, whatever. This is huge. Most people don't get that. Oh, I watched this video and it was pretty interesting. I thought I'd share it with you. Well, why? How's it going to change my business, my life, my career?
Absolutely. Well, this has been fun. We talked about a lot, and I hope LinkedIn's not watching because I don't want them to take away my LinkedIn Live. I love LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn, so please don't take away my LinkedIn Live. Couple things before we wrap up here. I'm going to, first of all, invite everyone watching this, whether you're watching it live or on a replay, please like, comment, and share this because that tells LinkedIn this is valuable stuff. Teddy gave a lot of information, and so we want the algorithm to pick this up. So like, comment, and share. And then the next thing is I want you, before I tell you that thing, I almost forgot to do this. I got to tell you about burrisconsulting.com/group. Now, where does that take them?
Oh, that's my new group, man. I got a new private group on Facebook using an educational units on Facebook. And it's a year-long engagement, and it's a perpetual, so it never goes away. And all it is LinkedIn coaching, training, support, ideas, conversations, questions, and every other week I do a live coaching session for all the members. It's really hot. It's really fantastic because everybody in there is learning, growing, and sharing.
Okay, so that's burrisconsulting.com/group to find out more information. And I want to invite you to go to my website, MrProductivity.com, for two reasons. Number one, get my top 5 productivity tips absolutely 100% free. And you can find out about my brand new coaching program, Digital Productivity Coaching. I'm really excited about it. It's coaching on the go. It's coaching out on my phone with me. It's coaching on the phone. So you don't get access to me, but you get coaching on the phone with me. Well, via text messages, 24/7, 365, and it's only $29 a month. I mean, it's an insane deal. After you're in the program for 14 days, you get a 30-minute Zoom call with me, which is $135 value. All that information at MrProductivity.com. Go check out TeddyBurriss.com. I'm sorry, BurrissConsulting.com/group to find out about the group. And Teddy, thank you so much for being part of this live. It was an absolute thrill having you on the show.
Good stuff, buddy. We'll talk another day. You all take care.